Welcome to the Every Day is a New Day podcast and live show. Are you ready? Because this is Rise and Shine. Every day is a new day. The 21-day empowerment series that supports you in cultivating a habit of getting into alignment, mentally and emotionally, standing in your power and being unshakable regardless what's happening around you. Join us live on Facebook at 9 a.m. Pacific time on the Every Day is a New Day show and coaching page, or on Apple Podcasts and beyond for the replay. Let's get to it. Welcome to day 12 of Rise and Shine, the 21-day empowerment series really supporting you in cultivating that practice of getting into alignment, feeling centered and grounded and whole in who you are, and feeling strong to be able to move throughout your day and you know what, just have an amazing day regardless of what goes on around you and still being in the flow with it all. So I want to go ahead and welcome today's awesome guest. I have Neil Thrussell here with me. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, Kim.
Absolutely. So, Neil, I know you know this, but I'll just say before we do anything else, we're going to go ahead and do that, practice getting into alignment. So I invite you to join me, along with me, and as we do this, we're going to do it a little differently. So this morning when I got up, I was inspired to switch it up just a little bit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to release yesterday and bring in today with the essence of love or any other feeling state that you would like to feel more of. So think right now, what would you like to feel more of? If nothing comes to mind, you can choose love. If something else comes to mind, then that's going to be what you bring in. So we're going to simply start by connecting to our body. I like to place one hand on my heart. You can place the other hand on your abdomen or on top of your thigh, but just being comfortable wherever you are seated. And we're going to go ahead and imagine that any thoughts of yesterday, whether it literally be yesterday or something that took place from 20 years ago that maybe still plays around in your mind. And I want you to imagine that energy floating away from you. I have a friend who likes to say, return to center. Any thoughts that are taking over your mind, maybe leading to a space of anxiety or overwhelm, go ahead and just see those floats lovingly drifting away, getting further and further away from you and your energy. And notice how it feels when you start to release what doesn't feel good. When you start to release what may have felt heavy. And now we're going to go ahead and choose to bring in that essence of love or any other feeling state you would like to feel more of. And imagine that love, that desired feeling flowing in to you and through you. You can see it coming in right between your two eyes, down into your body. You can see it coming down in through the top of your head, all the way down into your body. You can't get this wrong. So any way you see it, however it shows up in your mind, that is just right. And as you bring in that energy of love, maybe it's peace, maybe it's more freedom, joy. Notice what that feels like as it settles into your body, filling you up with the truth of what you deserve, with the truth of what is always available to you. And just allowing yourself to be present in that feeling state. Knowing today is a new day. And go ahead and take some slow, deep breaths in, breathing in more of that energy and just allowing that energy to settle in. And as you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes and come back. And let me know in the comments, what was that like for you? What came up for you as you took that time to deliberately say, I choose to release this and I choose to bring in and align with more of this, something else that feels better. Let me know in the comments what that feels like, whether you're live or on the replay. I love connecting with you. And Neil, I am going to ask you, what was that like for you? Or what is it typically like for you when you take time to just to center and be present with your energy so that you feel more in alignment?
Well, that question goes in a million different directions because it instantly takes me out of this calm, cool, and connected place. Because then all the possibilities and everything go ah. Because it's like tell me the meaning of life. It's like I find when I'm centered, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave it. It's just so, for me personally, it is such a comfortable place. And it's not a sloth laziness or that, but it's just I don't want to exit this place. And then you ask a question and I'm like, okay, I've left. I'm out of the station. Now I gotta go.
So well then thank you for sharing that. I love that. What I hear with that is I hear a sense of I sense a sense of of excitement for possibilities. And I also like this brings you right into the next piece is we're bringing in the awareness of, okay, this is what I'm choosing to align with. And then what I love to do is like take it a step further and say, okay, then what are my words today that I'm going to use? I can say to myself to continue to practice being in alignment throughout my day. So in other words, an affirmation. So based on your experience and what this brings up for you, what could be an affirmation that you could use for yourself to like further bring you into a state of alignment for today? And I'll share it with our audience, something they can use too.
I'm the king of simple. I like to one thing. So I am healthy, happy, whole.
I love that.
To me, when I start to make it, for me personally, when I make it too complicated, I don't repeat it, and I don't. So whenever doesn't matter what's going on, I want my health first and paramount. Everything that I do, like with this COVID-19 right now, those that are in the greatest concern have health issues, and it's our health that we're worried about. So I want to be healthy. Second, whatever is going on around me, I want to be happy. And because it's that I can control. Our interaction, we could have a negative interaction here, but it's what I do with it. So I'm now working with happy, and whole is recognizing for me that I have pimples, warts, and bulges in places that I don't like, but I'm accepting me as me.
Yes. I love that. Neil, so I love everything about this, how simple it is and how it really touches on all those points. Healthy, happy, and whole. And I don't think I've said it in a while, but that's a big piece of what this is about. Getting to that space where you remember and feel your innate wholeness. And I say it that way because we can have the feeling of knowing what it feels like to feel unwhole or like we need to be fixed or like we're broken, right? And yet none of that is true. We are whole already as it is.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, before I ask you more questions, let me just share a little bit about Neil. So Neil is a 4 times international best-selling author. He's the master of the Shin Dao. He's a speaker, facilitator, life coach, reverend, web geek, adventurer, husband, son, uncle, and lover of life. And I think you can already see that because I just love your energy, Neil. So thank you for being here.
Well, it's mutual. We've done other shows together, and it's always just it's kind of like, oh, I'm with Kim again. This is beautiful.
I feel the same. And on that note, I'm just going to go ahead and give a little plug. You have a show that you're doing. Do you want to tell everybody if they want more of Neil, tell them right now where they can see you again online?
Well, Actually, at 3 p.m., I mean, what is that? 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Daylight Time, I'm on a show called Uplifting Conversations. And it can be found on my Facebook page. Go to Neil Thrussell. You see the little name in the lower left, and just find me on Facebook, and it's there. It'll be there. 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. I never remember what that is in Eastern Time.
5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, because I'm from Western Canada, and we tend to have a love-hate relationship with the east side of our country, because that's where the political power and the political balance in our country is. Our political system is slightly different than yours, so it's parliamentary. So our political power comes from the east. So it's like what we do in the west doesn't really matter. So we're, huh.
Well, Neil, thank you for sharing that. I just wanted everyone to know that you, after today's show, you can definitely get more of Neil over on his page, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. But we are not done. So we're going to continue with our aligning for today. And we brought it into our awareness. You came up with an affirmation. I am healthy, happy, and whole. And now, okay, here's one of the fun parts I love. So if you were to integrate that further into your body and how you hold yourself today, what could be a power pose that really emulates I am healthy, happy, and whole?
Well, that's easy. That's my running pose after I'm done a race. Yeah. I'm 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 wearing a T-shirt from a race I did to say that I'm an international runner as well. I ran in Mexico.
That's awesome. We're going to add that to the list. He's also an international runner. So, for all of those who are listening to the audio replay of this, Neil just gave us the pose of like his two biceps are up and he's like, like a muscle man. Like that's his power pose. I am healthy, happy, and whole.
Yeah, yeah.
And so for you, what would your power pose be? Let us know in the comments. What would that look like for you? And well, hello to Betty. Hello. She says, hello, beautiful and healthy souls. Hello, beautiful and healthy soul. Right back to you.
Hello, Betty.
Okay. So Neil, now we're going to take another step further. So let's talk about self-care. I mean, all these things we're talking about are already self-care, but what are there other things that you do to really help yourself feel good and help you to take care of yourself, honor yourself?
Exercise.
Like, okay.
The best thing for we as North Americans can do is pitch our remote control and go chase it and keep throwing it, and eventually we will have an exercise program. So for me, good food in, exercise, plenty of rest. This body is what's going to carry us for the rest of our life. And if we abuse it, it's resilient and it will take some abuse. But we need to love it, honor it, respect it, and give it plenty of exercise. And whatever that looks like for you in your physical condition now, exercise, move on. Like we spend in the personal growth industry so much time focusing on how we're feeling, how we're doing, but we actually need to remember what our body is doing for us.
Yeah. So how often do you exercise or what do you suggest? I mean, I know there's lots of stuff out there, but specifically, what do you suggest?
For me, to me, running is meditative. So it doesn't matter what distance I am running. If I'm running a 5K or a 10K, the beginning is always work. The end is always work. But in the middle is this sweet spot where it's one foot after the other. My breathing is there and it becomes for me a meditation. I can just be lost in the beauty of my body moving me from A to B.
I love that, Neil. I've never heard anyone describe it that way. That's awesome. If you are a runner and you're with us live or on the replay, let us know. Is that how you experience running? And if not, how does that perspective help you shift maybe the way you once thought about running? If running is a thing that really calls to you. So, Neil, you also mentioned food. What would you say is there, one food that you just know absolutely feels the best when you eat it, feels the best in your body?
It's not healthy. My wife looks after the health for me. Like I will eat healthy. But for me, what nurtures my soul is being able to sit somewhere after I've done a great day with a cup of coffee and a cookie, two cookies in hand, and feeding the soul. And it becomes, when it's more than one or two and it becomes half a dozen, then it's not good for you. And then it's become part of our personal self-medicating addictions, and that's not good. And I've done that with cookies too, but it becomes, there's a healthy balance in whatever you want to eat.
What I hear with that is allowing yourself to have those things that may not sound like the healthiest, and yet it feels good. It's a treat. You're not depriving yourself. That's the point I'm getting. You're not depriving
Yeah.
yourself, but you also have that awareness of moderation and balance, and
Yes.
that's wonderful. I want to go ahead and just take a quick moment to acknowledge Betty in the comments. Betty, absolutely. Closed caption for the deaf community will show up on this video when we are done. Thank you for that. And if it's not there, then I'll look into that. But it should be showing up when this is done, on the replay. So, okay, Neil. So thank you. So you've helped us connect those dots with the awareness. We have the affirmation, we have the power pose, and we have the way that we exercise and take care of our body. And I want to get into knowing more about you personally now. Will you tell us more about what you do, and what's your mission? You do so many awesome things to help people. What's your mission? Oh, look at that. I love it. Okay, let me read this. Neil's personal mission 2019. I create a world of heart-based connections by living and teaching the Shin Dao. You are so prepared. That was awesome.
I have that because in any of the offices that I'm working for, our video studio is downstairs, so it's close by, so that I can always see it. My computer, where I do all my writing and that, it sits behind just above my monitor, so that I can see it all the time. Because for me personally, when I can remember the big picture, it's easier to get out of the trenches and of self-pity and wallowing when I remember that I am here to teach people the Shin Dao, Shin being heart, Dao the way, so the way of the heart. I'm here to teach and share and be with people to experience living the way of their heart. Thank you, Betty. I just saw that flash up there. And
And we have and I apologize if I mispronounced your name. We have Hazril with us saying, "What is this? Why am I here? Who am I?"
beautiful questions. Those are some of the fundamental questions every single person on this planet should be asking themselves and taking time to find them. And find what works for you. Some people, a walk in the woods. Some people, it's meditation. So whatever your method of answering those questions is, it doesn't come from group think. It comes from the quieting of the mind and sitting or walking or running, whatever it is you do, with self. Because you need to find these answers and experience these answers, because when you find them, they are an experience. When you experience these answers, most likely you will be alone.
Right. And it can be easy to think that, well, if you've already had a habit of getting into self-doubt, it can be easy to think that when you're in that space and you're alone and coming up with, who am I and why am I here and all this, to not actually trust the answers you receive. And so the dichotomy of it, and if that's the right word here, is that the more you practice going within, just like Neil was saying, the easier it starts to become for you to trust that answer. Trust the answers that you get, because you start to see how they show up in your daily life and go, oh, there's confirmation. I had that. Oh, there's more. And you start to realize, wow, those simple, subtle messages that you've been receiving all along, like those are the answers you've been looking for. And so it really takes getting quiet and going within all by yourself, just you, and really receiving and owning, the guidance that you receive. So, and if it's your guidance by how it feels, especially the more that you start to clear out the doubt and all of that.
If I could add one piece of it, the feeling never, to me personally, never yells. It is always the quietest, quiet voice. And it only may feel like a little churn in your tummy, a little flutter in your chest. However it shows up for you, it's quiet. And you just need to pay attention. When my wife Tina and I teach an intuition class, as a takeaway for homework for people we have is when the phone rings before voice tells you which number it is, guess. Find out. Take a second to intuition to find out who that is. And it is amazing that eventually, through time, you will fail a great number of times. Don't get hung up on that. But you will eventually start to be right.
I love that, Neil. Thank you for sharing that with us. And hello to Kara, who's also with us today.
Hello, Kara.
Neil, okay, so I want to ask you, do you, I would love to take it a little further and do something playful. I love show and tell when we're here on camera. Do you have something, I know you showed us your mission statement. Do you have something else right in your vicinity that you can show us on camera that tells us more about who you are? Okay, hold it there.
It is my finishing medal for the first marathon that I ever ran. And to me, it's easily an emotional experience for me. Because all of my training, 18 weeks of running, where my wife was part of my team, because I would run, I don't like out and backs where I would run out and then come back. So she would drive me. A marathon is 26 miles. So she would either drive me out 26 miles from wherever we were and I would run home, or I would run from home and she would pick me up at 26 miles. So my wife was part of my training. I live in Calgary. The marathon was in Victoria, which is another province or for another state to the west. A province is similar to a state, so it was to the west. And we stayed with friends, and unbeknownst to me, I had family show up. So at the finish line, family was there, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever pushed your body to the point where it's gone, screw this, I want to shut down, I am done. And you just go, I love you, you need to go on. I am healthy, happy, whole. Take the next step, the next step, the next step. I had run about 37 kilometers and I couldn't play the mind game anymore and I wanted to quit. And I phoned my family on my cell phone and I said, I'm in trouble. I'm thinking of quitting. And my wife says, don't quit. Help is on the way. My nephew, Andrew, and his wife, they're very prim and proper. They're in dress shoes and everything. They show up on the course and ran the last 3 kilometers with me, holding their coffee cups so that I wouldn't quit. And in my mind, I knew I couldn't quit, but I reached out for a crutch, and to have my family respond and respond so easily just is so, like, I could have done it and I did do it, but it was just so much to me to have family at the end.
Oh, Neil, that is a beautiful story. We have Kara with us saying that's beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
Neil, my goodness. I was just, man, right there with you. That brings up so much about how important it is to have loving, supportive people in your life. And, if the people that are currently in your life aren't that, then what can you do to connect with people who are? And who can, who would love to be there for you and support you. And I absolutely know that if you are in a space where you don't feel like you presently have that, this is a really awesome way that you can practice deliberately applying the law of attraction and aligning more with people who can be a support system for you. Several years ago, this was something I became aware of in my life. And one by one, as I deliberately said, okay, I choose to align with the people who are part of my tribe, part of my support system, they started showing up, and it's beautiful. Family isn't necessarily, it can be your blood. It can also be people who are not, physically related to you. Neil, that is just a beautiful, beautiful story. I absolutely love it. And thank you for sharing that with us. On that note, I am going to go ahead and pull a How to Love Yourself card. Neil, my goodness. I feel like I'm going to have to have a cry after this.
I've done that many times.
And then, Neil, before we wrap up, I actually have one more question for you. And I don't know if you know what it is, but I have one more fun question I want to ask you before we end for today. Let's see here. Okay, we got 2 cards.
Oh.
The first one is, with every breath I take, I'm getting healthier and healthier.
Ha! That's good.
Well, and I think this is very much in alignment with what you were talking about with exercise. So the back of it says, my body is a mirror of my inner thoughts and beliefs. I nourish it with good foods and healthy exercise.
There's no coincidences.
There aren't. Absolutely. And the next one we have is, I live and work in comfort and ease and beauty. And the back says, my home is a reflection of me, and I choose to make it a wonderful place to live. So let me know in the comments if that resonates with you. Oops. And let's see here. We have Kara saying, yes, go for your goals and your dreams. And she's saying that it ties in so well, and she's in sync with that message, it sounds like. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us, Kara. Appreciate that. And Neil, as we wrap up, I want to ask you, and this is totally optional, but would you be open to singing us a song of your own with the words rise and shine in it?
Sure, but my mind just goes blank.
You can just totally random impromptu make something up and just put the words rise and shine in it.
Get up off the couch and rise and shine. Get up off the couch and get that blankety blank out the door. You are worth it of every dream that you ever have had. You are worthy. You are an epitome of love. You are the embodiment of love. You are worth it. So rise and shine and take the field. Get out there and go get it.
I love it. Thank you, Neil. Yes. That was beautiful. And Kara was laughing with us because we were just having fun with it. And I absolutely love that you were willing to do that. Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it.
I haven't played a guitar in 15 years, 20 years. So I should have. Oh, well, it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. As we close out, Neil, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our audience today? And go ahead and please tell everyone where they can connect with you. The links are in the chat here, but will you go ahead and tell them as well?
The best place to get a hold of me is on my website, is bestyoucanbe.ca.
Okay.
BES, the letter U, canb.ca. Or on Facebook, Neil Thrussell. If I was to leave you with anything, if you want to have heartfelt interactions with people, treat this interaction like I'm having with Kim, that I will never see Kim again. Ever. So make sure you are complete and it's coming from the heart. Even if she annoys me, remember, I will never see her again. So don't go when you're living from a place of heart. Oh, no, there's no E at the end.
Did I spell it wrong?
No.
Okay, finish your message. We'll correct it. Go ahead.
Don't let anger and resentment cloud your judgment. Always come back to that place of love and compassion and leave every interaction from a place of love and compassion.
That is a beautiful message, Neil. Thank you for that. And Kara's saying she loves that as well. And Betty's saying, thank you for a great discussion. Love your energy. Awesome. Well, okay. So Neil, I will correct it. We'll correct that link in the comments so everyone has the correct link to connect with you on your website. And remember that every day is a new day. Wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. Wherever you were yesterday does not have to be where you are today. And just like we did today we did a little different exercise to align our energy with deliberately choosing to release yesterday and deliberately choosing to bring in and align with today, the present, what it is that you want to experience more within you, around you, and all of that. You are worthy of that. And I hope you will always know how amazing you are. Thank you, Neil, for being with us today. I really appreciate you sharing your light and your energy. And I want to go ahead and just remind everyone too, if you like Neil, and I don't know why you wouldn't, then connect with him again, over on his page on Facebook at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern today, where he's doing his own uplift show. And I've experienced that myself, and it's awesome. So definitely you can check out that today if you're with us on, what is this? Friday, April 17th, 2020. So, okay, have a wonderful, beautiful day, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Yes, on Saturday for day 13 with another amazing guest for Rise and Shine right here on the Every Day is a New Day show and coaching page. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.
Arrivederci.